G'day and welcome back to Space Engineers DIC expansion. I have pretty much finished the rocket. I have run a few tests and I think it's ready for use. It's not quite as automated as I would have liked. There is a few quirks with it, and yeah, it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted to, but it's still pretty cool, and I'm quite happy with it. All right, so this is the landing pad, which you haven't seen either. I got these cool little exhaust vents for the thrusters, just for show. I think it looks cool. Yeah, so there's actually a hole in the floor underneath each thruster. And the idea is that the thrust goes in and gets vented out the side of the landing pad, I guess. All right, the middle section here is the fuel line, I guess we will call it. It's on a piston, and I didn't want to do any subgrids, but it was the only way I was going to be able to do it. I originally had these things merge blocked into the main base grid, and then this centerpiece was merge blocked, which allowed me to have the projector anywhere on the base, basically, and then I could project this middle section, and it would just get directly built to these boosters because they're all a part of the same grid. And that was really good, and it also made flying it was really good as well, because it was all considered the one grid. All the thrusters were working with one set of controls, but sadly that was it was screwing with my with Pam getting the boosters to fly back down. So I had to scrap it and go for separate grids. So we do have subgrids. These are connected with just connectors, and same with the bottom here, which does mean that we can transfer fuel and cargo and everything between all three grids, which is good, I guess. But it makes rebuilding this middle section a little bit difficult, because we obviously need to start off attached to the projector. So that's why I have the merge block, and this will be the first block that gets built, and then we can build the rest of it except for the connectors, because these are so close together that they won't actually build the connectors. So I have to sort of move the piston up and down a few times just to get the connectors to get welded up, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's passable, I think. So we've got two shields. So there's a shield emitter on each one of the boosters to protect them, I guess, on their return flight. It would have been really nice just to have one shield in the middle, but if we do that, we're essentially throwing out 400 field emitters every time we use this thing, because these things are reusable. They're going to fly back and they land. But this middle section goes to Mother DIC, so we lose all this. We've got 3 large cargo containers in here, which should hopefully be enough to satisfy any order that Mother DIC sends our way. And this middle section is fairly cheap to reproduce. There's no, there's no gold or anything that's being used in it, no platinum. It's just a bunch of steel plate, basically. So, fairly cheap. In the grand scheme of things. I mean, at the moment, I think we're sitting at about 500,000 steel plate. So, yeah. Rebuilding this middle section is totally fine. Yeah, I think it turned out really cool. I am really happy with the design. I think, especially the side of it looks absolutely awesome. So we'll run a couple of tests. Well, we'll run one test, I guess. We don't really need to see it a few times, just so you guys can see it in action. Then there's a couple other things I want to do today. Number one is I want to get a shield on the base. I have been doing some farming off camera, so we have a fair amount of uranium now. So I think we can remove that solar tower, and I want to put a shield sitting above here. And there's also a new script I want to use, which I found, which is going to allow us to do the early warning system, where these blast doors and everything are going to close up automatically when an enemy comes within range. So that's going to be really cool. We'll do that. But first, let's just run a test on this. Oh yeah, I've got a full countdown system. It's actually a lot of it is actually automated. It's pretty cool. So I've used my script to show different text depending on what's happening, and I also have automatic LCDs running on that left screen in front of us there, which basically tells us when the entire middle section is constructed, because I have to constantly fiddle with the piston to make sure everything gets built. It's mainly those 4 connectors in the center that don't like to get built. So that screen there will tell us when it's done, and then I know then for sure that it's finished. All right, let's run a quick save, because I don't want to have to spend the resources, I guess, and set everything up again. Yeah, anyway. All right, so the first button we have on the hotbar is take control of the middle section. And then the first timer block there will launch the rocket automatically. So let's do it. So it counts down, and then it tells you the different state, like what's actually happening. And then we can jump into the camera. It launches. Then the boosters separate. Now they fly off. Then Pam takes over and controls them to go back down to the launch pad. And basically we would just orientate the rockets towards Mother DIC and then jump out and leave it. Let's get the spectator cam up there so you guys can see it. What the hell is that? I don't know. All right, there's the other one. Oh, it's a strike corvette. Okay, we definitely need to go hunt that. Lots of uranium on the Reaver ships. Now, I tried so hard to get them to do retro burn when they're coming back down, but Pam doesn't like it. Pam wants to face where it's going. So it's a little bit of a shame. It looks kind of odd. The rockets like pointing nose first down to the base. But they both come down pretty much the same time. Setting this thing up was a giant pain in the ass. Why do I do this to myself? Why do I set myself these stupid fucking goals? Reusable boosters, god damn it. And I think the worst part is this is probably going to break at some point as well. And cause me all sorts of problems. But so far it's working. Yeah, they take their sweet ass time when they're coming down. And then right at the very end, they do a 180 and land where they're meant to. Can you imagine trying to do this with autopilot? You wouldn't be able to do it. Pam makes it so much easier. Because the rockets actually, like they land the same way they took off. So there we go, they're doing their turn. Are exactly the same as the SpaceX ones. All right, so that's it. They landed. From this point here, we need to run the landing sequence for both of these, which will turn off the antennas and the thrusters and everything. I could get Pam to do this, but I've had problems with that in the past, so I would just do it myself. Like, it's fine. And then what we can do is we run that, which is going to raise up the piston, start the projection. We then want to disconnect the landing pad connectors, so the boosters can get separated, basically. Oh shit, that strike reaver's getting too close. The turrets are going to take him out. We're going to lose that uranium. Come on. God, we're going to miss it. This is just a post-editing comment. I just want to point out that at this point here, I should have been actually watching what my ship was doing, because I have auto-damped to the Reaver ship. I'm following it down, basically. It's crashing. Right in the middle of the screen, there's a massive arrow on my instrument panel telling me to pull up. And, well, as you can see, this is what happens. Jesus. All right, we did some damage. Let's turn on the projection so Bob can build it. Actually, I've got him on grind before weld. I didn't realize we were falling towards the ground. Noobish mistake. Alright, how are we looking? We got some uranium, 458, so we made an extra 260 then. Okay, so something this rocket has shown me, which I didn't realize was going to be a problem, is the fact that we are now out of ice completely. What is in Neptune is all the ice that we've got. Is that uranium? It is. That looks like it. Okay. So did this get completely built? Okay, so it can't build anymore at this point here, so we need to move the pistons. Did I disconnect those? Yes, they are disconnected. So we're just letting the magnetism hold them in place, but that allows these things to be pushed out sideways, just so this thing can slide up and down in the middle. Jesus Christ, where's this conversation going? Okay, so we'll drop that piston down. Hopefully some of that stuff will get built. So we can see on the screen there what's left to build. The only thing I really care about is the final stage where it says complete. So we just got 15 armor blocks and 2 connectors remaining. Just push it back up again. There's 2 connectors. Let's go back down. That's it, all done. All right, so in that position there, we can lock the landing ones, the landing connectors. And then we can run the very last time block, which connects it locks the 2 boosters to the central shaft and then turns off the projector and retracts the fuel line and all that sort of shit. So let's do that. And then it is ready for another launch. So from this point here, now that we've disconnected that merge block, that central shaft, I don't think there's anything I need to screw around with. Oh, there is this. If we go back to toolbar 1, you can see the remote control block in slot 1 no longer exists, even though it is named exactly the same. It's still counted as a different block, so I have to put it back in there again. So I'll have to do that every time, which is, yeah, it's a little bit annoying. But overall, like, it's not that bad. Most of it's pretty much automated. I'm not even going to bother reloading the save. I don't mind wasting those resources. So that is the RCR, which I can't even remember what it stands for now. Reusable Cockrider. No, it was reusable courier rocket. Yeah, I think that's it. Any more uranium over here? Oh, there's my ammo. Well, I think it's my ammo from that turret. Might not be. Might be from this thing. Yeah, it's just a husk. That's all that is left. I'll clean that up at some stage. Okay, so one of the reasons why I want to get the shield on the base is because of something I didn't realize that happened is if you have multiple ships with shields are connected to the same grid, only one of the shields works. The rest of them don't work, which is, yeah, it's going to be terrible. So only one of the boosters will have a shield, or it'll be Neptune. So if we can get a shield over the entire base, that won't matter anymore. So let's do that now, actually, because that shouldn't take too long. So I thought this would be a nice spot for it to... Actually, it's probably going to be terrible to sit it up here. This, the turret that I had here always used to get shot by one of these other turrets. Wonder if we could sink it down a little bit more and still have it work, obviously. Okay, why are we getting the clang noise? All right, let's do that, and we'll see how that goes before we start doing armor and stuff around it. Now, we need a controller, shield controller. So can you guys hear that? Like there's a ship here. What the fuck? Oh, that reminds me. We should. Yeah, let's clean some of this up. Hopefully that'll clean up some of this shit. Okay, so one of the things I don't like about this base is we don't have just like a general hub where we can see everything. We sort of have like statuses of all the different pieces in their different modules. So I'm thinking we change this place into our central hub where we can get status on everything. So we've already got all our resources listed here. You can see that we've got quite a bit of uranium now, 3.1k. We've got power on this side. When I do the early warning system, that's going to go in here as well. Okay, shield controller. I wonder if I could put it right in the center there. I'd like to have the shield controller table. I think that would look cool. Let's get rid of that. That's gonna look weird because it's not a full cube. What does this one look like? Yeah, I think that one would probably be better. Yeah, it's gold. Okay, well, we can fix that. This is a manual one. I've dedicated to manual so I can disassemble stuff. I know we've got 300 of those in stock and I don't really need them. So what we're going to do is have a look at auto crafting and edit the text. Where is these ones here? 0. I don't want any of those. We're not going to be doing those things anymore. So disassemble those. That'll give us quite a bit of gold. Yeah, 10 each. Wow. That's, yeah. It's a lot of gold. Okay. No, it looks good. I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do about this. We could just maybe do that, I guess. That still looks pretty nice. Okay, cool. So everything is fine. Have a look at the shield controller. Let's actually call this moon and shield emitter. Okay, cool. So you have 2.1 million health. That is totally fine by me. Okay, so with the static shield, we can actually change the size. I wonder if we can do that with... with build vision. Sorry, I'm all over the place at the moment. Sure, that'll do. All right, we got rid of most of that crap. Beautiful. Energy's low. Let me go and fix that real quick. Yeah, so the base is running out of ice. I mean, the base is running out of oxygen quite rapidly because I have a weird bug where the rooms are depressurizing whenever I enter and exit them. And we don't have any ice. So we are going to have to fix that at some point. Probably the next project, I think. What I want to do is go to Europa and set up an ice farm. Like we could take Mar out there, collect a bunch of ice and bring it back and process it. But what I want to do is actually bring back the hydrogen and oxygen by itself. The first reason is I think that'd be a cool thing to have a factory on Europa that processes all the ice, just mines ice and processes it, and then we ferry it back. But number two, those two materials are extremely light, a lot lighter than actually carrying back ice. So yeah, I think that'd be cool to have some sort of a freighter that that we can carry back ice with. I mean, not ice, hydrogen and oxygen. Yeah, because those, like that rocket uses a bit of it. We're essentially giving away one tank worth of hydrogen. Yeah, these are not going to work. We're going to have to put some sort of a solar panel on here. Or is there any point in doing that? Should we just turn on the reactors and leave them on? Because they only burn uranium dependent on how much is needed. Right? So I think we should be okay with that. Apparently we're outputting 1 gigawatt. Oh, because the batteries are trying to recharge. Holy shit, we got 2,672 gold solar cells. Just one or two. That's terrible. Yeah, so my thought was if we could, yeah, awesome, we can. All right, so let's get spectator cam. Just so we can see what we're doing. Would be nice to encompass the rocket as well. Let's do a height offset. Actually, yeah, no, let's do that. And then we will make it higher. I wonder. Yeah, because we've got all this space over here that we don't actually need. So... push it up that way. And push it that way. Okay. Apparently it doesn't like Ma, even though that's my grid. Well. Yeah, I'm gonna reload that. Fuck that. I mean, I'm all for... like, I'm gonna be removing Ma anyway and salvaging her parts. But I don't want her to go like that. Like that was pretty rude. I mean, all of this is mine, right? I'm the owner. Share with my faction. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Alright, whatever. We'll move her out of the way. Just until we get the shield set up, and then we'll bring her back. I'm sure everything will be fine there. Let's turn thrusters on. Gyros on. We got thrust. Okay, locked. Alright, how does that look? Yeah, the antenna's poking out. That's alright. We could just adjust the height offset just a little bit. Bring it up a little bit. There we go. Alright, that encompasses everything. It's really weird that Ma clanged out on the shield. I mean, I could understand if it was like a neutral grid or something, but like I own all of that. Anyway, whatever. That's done. Let's change it to low reflective. There we go. I've got that fucking sound again. Okay, something else I wanted to do with this is jump in here. Now there's a separation timer block. This is booster port side. So it runs through all this, it turns the antenna on, and you know, I do an override on the gyro to make it tilt away, and then I also put boosters on as well. And then I start another timer block and I activate dampeners. But actually I shouldn't do that because dampeners are on now because I'm doing it differently. I want to, yeah, this thing here, I want to put shields up. So when it separates, the shield goes up. And then when we do the landing sequence, one of the things is it turns off its shield. Yep, so let's do that on both. And then landing sequence, port side. Shield down. All right, so we've got shield on the base. I've shown you the reusable rocket. Well, reusable boosters. Next is, oh, that script. I don't know if I have the mod. No, I will have to load the mod on. Oh, thank fuck for that. That stupid sound is gone. Alright, let's get in here. So I finally found a script that'll do what we want to do. But what got me onto it was the fact that there was modded sensors. So I went looking for a modded sensor that has an increased range, so we could essentially set up a trigger to happen when an enemy comes within range, and then when he leaves the range, it triggers another sensor, another timer block. Yeah, but then after I found that modded sensor, I found this script which is really cool as well. So the mod I'm using is called Elite Sensor. I think it has a max range of 8 kilometers. But we're only going to be using 4 kilometers, I think. Now, in my testing, it didn't show any signs of performance issues. But I only set it up to use 4 kilometers. And also I wasn't detecting asteroids. I have a feeling this causes performance issues. But yeah, we're just gonna do stations, large ships, and small ships, and players. But anyway, let's set this up to 4,000. The back sensor, yeah, we'll go 4,000. But this front extension, that's like out, like coming down towards us. We only need that to just go down a little bit. So maybe say 50 meters would be enough. Okay, so it does increase the power usage. This sensor now costs us 1.9 megawatts to run, but that's understandable in my opinion. Also, we can show on HUD and then jump in here and show sensors field range, so we can get a visualization of it. Where is the moon? There it is. There you go. So that's our 4 kilometer. If anything drops down here, that might be an issue. We might actually want to drop it down further. Because what's that? That's only 1.4 kilometers. And that's out of range. Let's just make it a kilometer, see how that looks. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Yeah. All right, cool. Another post comment. I'm pretty sure I just made that sensor scan at a range of 8 kilometers because 4 kilometer left extent, 4 kilometer right extent, 8 kilometers. But either way, the script takes over the sensor, so it'll be fine in the end. Okay, so we'll get that back in there. What else did we need to do? We'll have to load the script up so I can see what else we need. Okay, moon spare. So this is a LiDAR system. LiDAR mapping script. I don't think there's anything we change in here. I think all the settings get put into the custom data. Okay, so for the LiDAR system, we will need a group that has a ship controller, cameras, and or a modded sensor. So we're using a modded sensor, so we don't need the cameras. The cameras use raycasting basically, or tracing as it's referred to in other programs as well. We don't need turrets or rotors. We will be using LCDs and timers. And we could actually use this LiDAR system. It's essentially a radar. And we could use it to launch missiles, and we could have custom made missiles, which would be pretty cool. But for now, we just want to get the radar system up. So I'm gonna actually put this in the group as well, this programmable block, just so everything's together. So we need the elite sensor. There's a lot of shit in here. There it is. What else was it? We needed a remote control block, which we don't have, and an LCD, but we actually need a few LCDs. So for now, that'll do. We'll just put that in the group. LiDAR system. Let's double check. Okay, so we're missing ship controller and LCD. Perfect. Well, not perfect, but that's what I was expecting. Refinery room. Let's go this way. Okay, so I think we're going to do it on this side here. I'm going to remove this table that we've got in the middle here. When Bob decides to get around to it. There we go. That took you a while, buddy. Okay, so we want the wide LCD panels. Well, we don't really need them, but I think it looks better. And then we just need a regular LCD panel there. And I will put another one there just so it's even, but we won't be using it. Okay, so this is going to be LiDAR 1, like that. And this will be LiDAR 2. This one down here is going to be LiDAR info. Oops, it's got to be square brackets. Oh, and we need to put them in the group as well. So yeah, let's grab that and grab the 2 wide LCDs and LiDAR system. There it is, save it. And this should do the rest. Hopefully, if I've done everything correctly. Okay, maybe I fucked it. PB. LiDAR system. Missing ship controller, of course. Where are we going to put that actually? Where are we going to put the ship controller? Yeah, right in there. Okay, so 5-2, there it is. Yeah, so I want it facing that way there. Away from us, because that's essentially how the monitors are set up. Control click on the group to select everything in that group as well. Just resave it. And there we go. Okay, so we've got a little bit of setup to do. So that's essentially our radar. And this is everything that it's found. These are all friendlies because it's actually found subgrids. Ma has a lot of subgrids. So is the base actually. So let's set this up. So programmable block, LiDAR system, custom data. Okay. Set the range. We want 4 kilometers. Resolution is fine. Here we go. Valid targets. Basically, what type of entity do you want to show? We just want enemies. I don't care about neutrals or friendlies. So we're just going to do that. Enable, yeah, show voxel. We'll set that to false. I don't really care about that. That's for like asteroids and stuff like that. Enable relay, true. We don't need any of this as of yet because we're not using it to control our turrets or our or missiles or anything, so we can skip all of that. Let's grab one of the many timer blocks that we have left. So this will be base alert. I don't know. Now I did notice that this it starts the timer. It doesn't trigger now. So I want to put that on 1 second, the smallest amount of time possible. And all we're going to do is close the hanging doors. And where is that group of pistons? Pistons blast. We want to, I think it's retract. Extending them actually opens them up. So we want to retract them. And then all we need to do is label this with a special in 3000. So whenever an enemy is within 3 kilometers, it'll trigger this timer block. Grab another one. We'll say when they get out, say 3900, so it's just before it drops off the radar. And same again, we'll make that 1 second. Set up actions, go to groups. We want to open hangar doors, and the pistons we want to extend. Now we just got to put these into the LiDAR group. Let's run a test. Also, we want to keep original ownership. Okay, let's redirect him so he flies directly over our base and we'll see what happens. It's not directly over our base. It is closer though. 3.1. Is this going to trigger? 3. There it is. All right, perfect. So the base should be closing up. It is. And when the enemy breaks 3.9 kilometers, the base should open up again. All right, 3.8. Getting close. God, I put it at 3.5, but it still took ages to get away. Bloody super gremlins traveling at 20 meters a second. 3.9. All right, is this going to trigger? There it is. And the base is opening up. Perfect. All right, so the system works. Sadly, my game is broken to all shit. Stupid noises. All right, whatever. Let's end the episode. Looks like all the batteries are fully charged now because the input has dropped down significantly. What the fuck is to go with this? We've got 1. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we changed it. We put the charge rate down really low. All right, whatever. Okay, so how much uranium have we got left? 2.1 is nothing to sneeze at. Oh my god, we got no fucking gold. Luckily, we do have, was it 2,000 of these? 2,000, no, I can't see it. I think it was like 2,600 or some shit. $2,670, yeah. That'll give us some gold. We've got absolutely no ore, no raw materials at all. Yeah, gold's the only problem we have at the moment. Holy shit, we've gone through platinum. I had 17,000. Oh yeah, shield components. That'll do it. Anyway, let's wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed this, guys. As always, don't forget to lead your targets, and I will see you next time.